So, David, I don't know if you happen to hear James Manny earlier in the show today. I was talking about Justin Trudeau flying over, having dinner with Donald Trump, and I thought, hey, you know what? First G7 leader to meet Donald Trump since his election victory. Maybe this is a win for Justin Trudeau. I know nothing came out of it in terms of policy, but then again, perhaps we shouldn't have expected anything would. Was this a win for him or not?
I think it's a huge win for Justin Trudeau, and an even bigger one since, can you remember the last time he actually had one? I mean, in the last few years. I think for Justin Trudeau, this is a fantastic move. And I would say the person that really won that event the most is the kid in the back of the picture that photobombed it perfectly. If you look at the picture, for our listeners who may not have seen the picture, take a look at it, find it. There's a kid in the back at a table that totally photobombs it. He was brilliant. But jokes aside, the fact is that Justin Trudeau, who is not obviously of the same political family, not even close to Donald Trump. Donald Trump hit Justin Trudeau many times over the past few years, criticizing him openly and attacking him openly. And the fact that he got that meeting in Mar-a-Lago, of all places, and you know, yes, he sat down with Donald Trump, but he was also with Donald Trump's basic economic international trade team. All the nominees were at that table and at that meeting. So this is the highest of levels, sitting down and sending a clear message that he's taking care of business. Now, obviously, I didn't expect a trade deal to come out of this. I don't think nobody did. But let's remember one thing. Over 20 U.S. states have as their number one international trading partner Canada, including Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, the three states that basically gave the election to Donald Trump. And I think right now what Donald Trump is doing is his usual recipe to come out swinging, intimidating. But let's face it here, the main antagonist in this theater that we're going through here is Mexico. Mexico has developed over the last few years a huge trading relationship with China. There's the whole immigration and drug issue that is, of course, has nothing in comparison, is much bigger in comparison to what it is with Canada. I think what Donald Trump is setting up is a few key wins on certain very specific files. Lumber, for example, could be one. There could be others. But I think what Justin Trudeau is showing, and let's face it, the last few weeks, and it's not free of criticism, but, you know, coming out, doing this YouTube video, talking about immigration a few weeks ago, very calmly explaining what's going on, talking to 18, 35 years old about the cost of living, about the impact on housing and the crisis, then moving on, trying to do something with the GST. Yes, I know it's not free criticism and a $250 check debacle now, but still talking to average Canadian, working Canadians, and now showing that he's going up against Trump. By the way, he's the first one, and putting Poilievre, for the first time, I haven't seen Poilievre since he became leader of the Conservatives, be so caught flat-footed the way he's been. I mean, yesterday his comments were all over the place. I mean, what? He's saying, oh, well, you know, he's on the defensive. Well, no kidding. It was Pierre Elliott Trudeau who said, you know, it's like a mouse sleeping next to an elephant, the relationship between Canada and the United States. Let's face it. I mean, regardless who the president is, you have to be very careful and you have to tread lightly. And so it's the biggest economy in the world. Donald Trump is going to go where he wants to go. And so Pierre Poilievre is caught flat-footed right now, and he's scrambling. So I really do think for Justin Trudeau, now he's got to continue stringing some wins, and something has to come out of this, and it'll take a while. I mean, Donald Trump isn't president until January 20th to start with. But until that, after that, we'll see what happens. But Justin Trudeau is setting himself up as a guy, who's taking care of business, and I think a lot of Canadians will react positively.
So let me follow up on that with you. So you're right. He's stringing together a couple of positives, if you will. It's certainly been a while between those. But now you're that political party, and you're thinking, okay, we've done a couple of things here that have opened some eyes. This Trump thing, however you want to take it, he still got there. He still had that meeting, regardless of what came out of it. If you don't start to see poll numbers, and there will be polling, of course, going on all through the next while, if they don't change, then what?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of ifs there, but I'm figuring right now there's no appetite, as we've seen. The Bloc Québécois huffed and puffed about bringing down this government, didn't work. The Conservatives huffed and puffed about bringing down this government again this fall, didn't work. Nobody is bringing down this government, at the very least, until the federal budget. Unless there's some sort of crisis, unforeseeable crisis, this government is at least going to survive until the next federal budget, which is going to be usually, end of March, early April.
Yeah.
And after that, we'll see, depending on where the economy is. But until, Jagmeet Singh, it's the funniest thing about this, Aaron. There is nothing in the polling. As bad as the polling is for Justin Trudeau, it's even worse for Jagmeet Singh. And that's why he's never going to vote for defeating this government. So he's trying to eke out some sort of win. He's not doing it. But I think for Justin Trudeau, if the economy turns around, and I get it that it's a big if, but I've been saying it for the last several months, I still think we're looking at the September election. I really think that Trudeau can survive if things stand, and I understand it's a big if things stand as they are, but if the economy turns around, remember, he's in the mid-20s right now in the polling, right? Nationally speaking. Justin Trudeau won the last two elections with 33% of the national vote. He lost the popular vote the last two times around to the Conservatives. So the step is not insurmountable. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
So if you start seeing some movement in Ontario, in the GTA, Greater Toronto Area, if you see Vancouver moving a bit, then you're going to see some encouraging signs. But let's face it. I mean, again, I get it's not moving, and as long as the economy's in the tank, and issues 1, 2, and 3 all have to do with cost of living issues, which is the number one issue, was the one for the U.S. election, still is here in Canada and in Quebec. Well, until that turns around, obviously Trudeau fatigue is going to persist.
So what would be the rationale then? Because today we were talking to Colton Prale, our CTV reporter, saying that today in the House there was an opportunity for a non-confidence vote and the Conservatives passed. I don't. What is that about?
Well, you got to file that ahead of time, right? Yeah, and so I think it was their day for a motion. And early on at the beginning, remember at the beginning of the session, Poilievre said, every time I'm going to have a motion, it's going to be non-confidence. I really think, and I don't have any inside info on this, Aaron, but I really think there's a connection between the trip and this. I really do think that this destabilized Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives. I mean, the trip to Mar-a-Lago.
Right.
And I think that today and this week, the Conservatives don't want to face yet again trying to defeat the government and failing, because it will fail. It would have failed, rather. And so I think right now the Conservatives are finding out that, this paralyzing the government is maybe not the best foot to be putting forward right now for ordinary Canadians who right now need help with their everyday life. And they're all they're seeing is Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives doing political theater in Ottawa and not proposing anything.
Okay. Let me shift really quickly. Well, we still have like a minute here. So we had the poll result that now showing François Legault. Most Quebecers thinking he should resign. Worst they've done in a poll, I think, ever. What does this mean? What does it matter?
Well, it means that, just like Justin Trudeau, but even worse. First of all, the politics of grievance and the politics of division have a big downside, is that it can get you to power, as it has with François Legault, but you actually have to do something with it. And when you look at, for example, François Legault, what has he been talking about the last few weeks and months? He's been talking about immigration. He's been talking about language. Christian Dubé has been talking about Santé Québec, the structure, but he's not talking about real issues affecting ordinary Quebecers, kitchen table issues. And he's not offering any type of solution. So he's completely disconnected. Again, language and immigration are not even top 5 issues for Quebecers. I'm talking about Francophones here. Language is not even a top 5 issue. Immigration is not a top 5 issue. It's housing, it's cost of living, it's the economy. Think about, you spoke to Benoit Dubreuil, the language commissioner. We talked about scapegoating immigrants. What we're seeing more Jean-François Roberge in the media right now, immigration and language, and we're seeing Christine Fréchette on economic development.
Yeah.
That says a lot. And François Legault's obsessions right now are completely out of whack with what ordinary Quebecers need from their government. And so just one final little point here is that, yes, the Parti Québécois is ahead, but they're in the low 30s. And it's a protest vote. Remember, when you're reading those polls and seeing the PQ ahead, a quarter of PQ voters in these polls are against independence. This is a protest vote right now. And every poll that has been done since Pablo Rodriguez entered the Liberal race shows that the Liberals would leapfrog ahead of the CAQ, would be in second place challenging the PQ for the lead. So I'm just saying right now, yes, we're a ways away, but the thing is that François Legault and his government is completely disconnected with the realities of ordinary Quebecers, and they're not showing any signs of getting there anytime soon. And by the way, Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon, not talking about the economy neither. So there's a big opening for the Liberals there.
Although maybe that big caveat here is don't count your chickens, as they say, before they're hatched. There's no provincial election for another 2 years, almost 2 years.
I totally agree with you. I'm calling it right now as it is, but I'm seeing right now that the numbers for independents are not ticking upwards. Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon's support is iffy at best, with a quarter of it not being independent on independence, and so maybe the Liberals, if the Liberals can start talking about the economy instead of constitutions, maybe they can start connecting with Quebecers, because that's why right now Quebecers have nowhere to go, is because nobody's connecting with their issues.
And that's where we leave it. David, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Have a great week.
You too.